Hey y'all, I'm Tamara. Welcome to another episode of TammyToosVintage. Today I have hauls from 4 different estate sales to share with you. So stay tuned after the intro and see what kind of goodies I picked up. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in to TammyToosVintage, where I share my love of thrifting, junking, collecting, and treasure hunting, along with some adventures in reselling too. You might even get a glimpse of my crazy life on the side. Alright, it's been a really good past few weeks for estate sales, and so I've hit several, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I found. So a few of these things will end up in my personal collection, but most of these will be for resale, so keep an eye out on my eBay store. You might want to go over and click the link down below and follow my shop on eBay so that you'll be notified when I post new things. All right, the first sale, now this is a sale that I actually worked, and at the end of the weekend there were some items there that I thought, you know, if I can get them for a low enough price, I'll go ahead and buy them for resale, and that didn't work out quite like I intended it to, because the items that I picked up were these little clay pottery animals. These are, if I remember correctly, let me look at my notes, Rinconada, if I say that right, I may have butchered it, raku animals made in Uruguay. And I actually picked up, this is a polar bear, a gazelle, a cute little bunny rabbit. Here is a water buffalo and a cute little puppy dog. This one's funny, it's an anteater. You don't usually see anteaters. And an ostrich. Isn't he cute? Look at his little fat feet. So these are, I think all of them, or at least most of them, are signed. I'll show you on the see if you can see right there. It does have signatures on it, and apparently the woman whose house this was had collected these. And what's kind of neat is a lot of them have a sticker on them, this little provenance that shows when she was gifted these items and the date she was gifted them. Most of them are from the 80s, so not super old, but definitely still vintage. And you can see that I've got about 7 of these animals here. I actually came home with more than 20. And when I said this didn't work out exactly like I planned, because my idea was originally I was going to pick up one for each of my kids. I've got 5 kids. So I was going to pick up one for each of them just as a little something. They always like it when I bring them something from an estate sale. And once I got all the 5 picked out, the ones that were left over, I asked the gentleman that I worked with, I'm like, hey, what would you do if I just bought all of them? And so he made me a really good offer. I ended up taking all of them, and I thought, oh, well, I'll let the kids each pick the one that they want instead of me picking for them, and then I'll post the others for sale. Well, that didn't go quite as planned, because each of the kids picked not 1, but 2. So each of the kids took 2 animals, and then my husband wanted the hound dog, so he got the hound dog. So the number that I have for sale is actually much smaller than it originally was, and it may even get smaller because I may keep the polar bear. I've mentioned before that we have lots of dogs, and we have 5 Great Pyrenees, which are very affectionately nicknamed our polar bears because they do look like polar bears, especially when they're puppies. And so the polar bear may also stick. But anyway, these are kind of neat, and the resale on them, I want to say, is somewhere in the, you know, $12 to $20-ish range. So I got those for less than $1 when it was all said and done, I think. So the price was right, but I would not have paid up for them. So also at that estate sale, it wasn't a great vintagey estate sale. There wasn't a lot of older items there, but I did pick up this. This is just a nice little box that has some note cards, and I picked it up for $1. And I've mentioned to you before that I always look for thank you notes, blank stationery like that I can use to write thank you notes, because I do include those as box toppers in my orders. And I have had several of my customers mention how nice it was to get a handwritten thank you note. So apparently at least some people appreciate that, and I don't want to spend a lot of money, but those are some really nice notes, so I picked those up. So that was the first sale. Not too exciting, but it was kind of fun. Now the next 2 sales were things that I bid in online auctions, and both of these sales, well, one of them, they put some stuff up at an online auction, and then they also had items out like a traditional estate sale when I went to pick them up. So I will show you the item I bid on in the online auction. It was this gorgeous covered dish. I guess it is probably a jam jar or something like that, because it does have the little spot for the spoon. Unfortunately, the spoon is not there, but it has this beautiful enameled hand-painted flower that wraps around. It doesn't go quite all the way around. I would say about 2/3 of the jar is covered with the design. It has this gorgeous, I don't know if this is just a silver tone or silver plated. I have not tested it. But pink is very popular. I love the design. It's just a really pretty dish. So I did bid on this in the estate sale online auction, and I won it, and this was the only item from this sale that I won in the auction. Now I will caution you, there were several other things that I did intend to bid higher on. I had put bids in or marked them as watching so that I could bid on them, and I forgot that at the time the auction was ended, and this was the only item that I ended up winning, because several of those things I missed out on bidding on. So I was a little bit disappointed, but when I got there, they had a lot of other nice things as well. So I'll show you those. This was a fun day because my son, my teenager, actually went with me on this. He's 19, and so it was a nice little drive. It was a little over an hour to get to the site to pick up the things, and he actually spotted this item, and I don't know if you can see, but it does have some glow to it. So it's just a nice little uranium glass candlestick. It is a nice size. It's, you know, larger than some of the other smaller candlesticks like this. So this was kind of cool. I think I paid $5 for this. Now these next 2 little items, these are from a dresser set, and when I picked them up I thought maybe they would glow, but alas, they don't. They do match. I don't know if you'll be able to see the design on the top of the lids, but the design is the same, but this one has kind of this yellowed cover that's still present, where this one is missing it. It would be very easy, I think, to remove this if you wanted them to match, but they're a nice little piece. This is just looks like a nice little jar that would be used for some kind of makeup or lotion or something. And then this one would be a powder jar, and it does have a nice mirror in it in the lid. So, and I think together I paid around $8 for this. And by the way, this was the half off day at the estate sale. So the prices were pretty good. It was kind of fun because the lady that is running the estate sale, she's told me that this weekend was not even a third of the boxes that they had from this estate. It was the estate of I don't remember if she said a couple or a gentleman that had owned an antique business. So much of the stock was very high quality. Like I said, I went not early, but later in the day on the second day of the sale, and these items were still there. There was a lot that I didn't pick up. Some very nice things, and she said they were going to keep doing this for several more weekends. So they are on my radar to make sure I go back. Anyway, this little creamer is marked RS Gillowitz or Tillowitz. I'm not sure what that mark is, but it is just a really cute, dainty little porcelain creamer. It does have a very nice lily, white lily on the front, and then a smaller lily on the back. This does appear to be transfer and not hand painted, so not super expensive, but the porcelain itself is very fine, very nicely made, and I just really liked that motif because that lily is not a common one that you see very often. Also with that white lily, I think this is actually a tulip magnolia. That's what this flower looks like to me. But this is a hat pin holder, a nice tall piece, very pretty. It has applied gold decoration. Again, it is a transferware piece, and I don't pick up a lot of transferware unless the motif and the design really speak to me. And this one did. I really thought it was really pretty. I love the detail on the sides, and it's got the gold on the top for the hat pin. It does have an original cork in there, but it's inside. I don't know if I'll try to get that out. And the mark says MW Co. hand painted from Germany. So now this is one of those marks that you have to be really careful about because, like I said, the motif itself, the flowers, are definitely transferware, but it does say hand painted on the bottom. So probably what I would suspect is that the green, possibly the green, and then maybe just the gold and the lines down the side were hand painted. So they are able to say it was hand painted. There is something on it that was hand painted, but the whole design was not hand painted. So you want to be careful. Just because you see something is marked hand painted does not mean the whole design was hand painted. Then I found this little fella, and he is a cutie. It is a little crystal frog, and I believe he was $2. Not expensive. But I turned him over, and right there on his little bottom, if you can see, is a Baccarat France mark. And this is one of their older marks. I want to say it was 70s or 80s. And so he's definitely worth more than $2. And this piece is fun. I have not seen a vase like this out in the wild before. I thought it was very deco looking, very maybe mid-century-ish. And so I picked it up, and yep, there on the bottom it says Hager. So I scored that one. And this again, I want to say this was $1 or $2. It was marked extremely reasonably for what it is. And then I think this, besides the item, besides this little dish that I got from the online sale. I think this is my favorite piece that I picked up at the sale itself. And this is just a nice little green. It has that look of jadeite. It's not a Jeanette or McKee or any of those companies, so I won't call it jadeite, but it's just a green glass vase, and it does have a hand applied, hand painted enameled floral scene on it. And this is an old piece of glass, and if you look on the bottom, there are no marks on the bottom, but if you pick up old glass and you start seeing the way it was made and just the slight imperfections, and I don't really consider them imperfections, I consider them character for that glass. This glass shows that style. So when I picked this up, I just really loved it. It was extremely inexpensive. I want to say $5 or less. When I went up to pay, she took all the price stickers off, and I didn't have a chance to really stick them in my brain so I'd remember, because I didn't realize she was going to do that. But anyway, I really like this, and I thought that was just a gorgeous piece. So that is the haul for that estate sale. And I want to say I spent somewhere in the neighborhood of $40, not counting the online. Like I said, this was $9, and I had to pay for it at the end of the auction, so that was paid for separately than the other items. Now the other online auction that I did, I got quite a few more things in the online auction because I was watching and I bid on the things I wanted. But when I went to pick them up, this was also in an antique store, was the pickup place. So, did I get anything else at the antique store? It seems like I got something else there, and now I don't remember which item it was. Okay, so on to the next one. This next estate sale is another one that I did bid for some items online, and I was ready for this one, and I did watch. Sometimes I set my alarm for the ending time so that I know to go check it out. But I did watch, and I got quite a few items. There's a few things I bid on just because I knew that I had won some lots, so I was gonna have to go and pick them up anyway. Nobody else bid on them, and so I picked them up for really cheap. The starting bids on all of their lots was $3, and quite a few things that I got for $3. So I was the only bidder, got them really inexpensively, and that worked out really well. So I will jump right in. Oh, by the way, this estate sale was run, I think, by the same people that owned an antique little vendor mall. And so when I went to pick it up, the address I picked up at was that antique mall, and we did a little shopping while we were there. I bought something, and now I don't remember what it was. But my son, I know what it was. It was this piece right here. This is what I bought. This is going in my collection because it's Pyrex, and this is actually my very first piece of non-American Pyrex. This has on the bottom Pyrex England, if you can see it right there. Now some Pyrex from England is marked this way with Pyrex England. Some is what they call JAJ. I can't remember what that stands for, but that's a manufacturer that manufactured these in England. And so I was really excited to find this piece. I think this pattern is just gorgeous, but this will be going in my personal Pyrex collection. And like I said, it's my first non-United States piece, so I was excited about that. And then there was another vendor that had a lot of really neat old records, and my son is very into music and things. He makes his own music. In fact, my son's the one who mixed the music on the intro for me, so he is very talented in that respect. And he found some old records that he was really excited about, and I helped him buy a couple of records because he came with me and we were just enjoying the day together. So I will start with the items I won in the auction now. And the first items are going to go in my personal collection. They are all vintage jewelry, brooches, and they all happen to be leaves. I have some plans for them, so hopefully I'll be able to get those done before long. But this one is marked Kramer, and I paid $3 for it. So it does have a mark on the back. It's very nice, very heavyweight. Probably 50s, 60s as far as date on this. But anyway, I just thought that was a beautiful piece of jewelry. The next lot that I won was actually a lot of 3 leaf pins. And because these were lotted together, I got all 3 of them for $3. So $1 a piece, which is an excellent price for vintage jewelry. But this one is not marked, and it is kind of lightweight. It's very thin. You can see it's pressed on the back there, and that matches the design on the front, but still a very nice piece. This one is marked on the back, and I don't know if you will be, this is the front. I dropped it. If you see right there. And then on the back there on the stem, on the tip right here is the mark, and it says Jerry's. Not one of the higher end, more sought after jewelry companies of the mid-century, but it is marked and attributed, which is always nice. And so that one is pretty. And then this last one is from Bartek, and it's just another little leaf. I saw one listing online called this a feather. So I don't know, I guess it's how you want to look at it, but to me it looks like a leaf. Excuse me. My throat got froggy there for a minute. But I will open this up so maybe you can see the mark a little bit better. It is right there underneath the pin part. So, and all 3 of those are gold tone, not real gold, not gold plated, just, costume jewelry gold. All right, so that was the jewelry I picked up. Then this is one of the items nobody else bid on, so I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. I'll just go ahead and pick that up. And it is a red, white, and blue. They have it listed as an ice bucket. I guess that's what it is. To me, it's a little bit small for an ice bucket, but it is still really cute. I would love to find some tumblers to go with this. It is not marked, and I have not yet been able to find out who made it. But it's really nice. It'll be really cute in a 4th of July or Labor Day display. So that's really cute. All right, then another item I bid on because nobody else was bidding on it was this little enameled pan, or to me it looks almost like maybe a water dipper or something like that. And I got this because I kind of thought I might do a little Christmas decor arrangement in it. I've been looking for things like that lately. I have a lot of plans. My husband jokes that I am like Martha Stewart and I need a staff because I have all these great ideas, but I don't ever follow through on a lot of them, and so I gather supplies a lot of times and then I end up having all this stuff and not a finished product. So keep me accountable. Tell me, hey, I want to see that Christmas arrangement, that little green enamel. dipper. Now, this is one of the items that will probably stay with me because it is a fairy lamp. So, and I do have a fairy lamp collection. Now, this is a common pattern, the stars and bars. You will see these a lot in an amberina or a red pattern that has been flashed, which means the red is just put over an amber base glass. A lot of people don't realize that it is flashed, and they'll wash it, and then they end up with what started out as a red fairy glass, and now it is amber. I do have one of those that I ended up washing. I knew it was flashed because the flashing was in really bad shape when I found it. And so I just scrubbed it all off, and now I have an amber fairy glass that matches this one. But this one is clear, and surprisingly, I have not found a lot of clear fairy glasses in the wild. I do find amber more than any other color, but I picked this one up, and it was, let's see, what was it? It was $3.50, which is a very good deal for a fairy lamp. All right. Now, this one is an item I picked up that I thought was a lot of fun, and it is a copper canister. It has a neat little wood handle on it. I have not cleaned it yet. I'm going to polish it up, and I think it'll look rather nice. It is from the company Miro, that says the finest aluminum made in the USA. If you can see that mark, I hope it's showing up and you can read it in spite of the glare. There are some scratches on the bottom just from being, set on a shelf and slid around. To me, this looks more like a cookie jar, the size of it. Even for a flower canister, it's a little bit large because it is so big around. I would have expected this to be a cookie canister. My plan is probably to hang on to this one because I am almost ready to start decorating my new craft eBay space. My husband has been diligently working on that for me, and I'm so excited. And so I am going to start collecting old vintage canisters just to store items and things in my craft room. And speaking of crafts, so this lot was a lot of wooden spools, and interesting enough, this is the item I paid the most for, and it was, I take that back. There's one item I paid more for, but this one was $4. Oh, and the canister was $3. Nobody else had bid on it, so I bid on the canister. The spools, and I counted real quickly, I think there's 25 of these different wood thread spools in here, and some of them have a little bit older looking labels on them. And then there's also this neat little needle holder that is in there as well. So those are fun. I may use some of those in my little decorative items like I was going to put in here. Oh yeah, and there are machine needles still in here, and this says needles 25 cents. Buyer brand, I think. 15 machines needles. Oh boy, B-O, that's what it is, B-O-Y-E, Needle Company, Chicago, New York, and San Francisco. So you can see it's a little wood thing, and that's just really neat how it's got even a little wood lid that's got the number on it to identify the size of the needles inside. So that right there is a pretty neat little piece too. So that is all of the threads. And then the last two items from that estate sale were salt and pepper shakers. I got 2 sets of anthropomorphic salt and pepper shakers. So if you're a reseller of vintage, anthropomorphic is a word that you need to learn, because anthropomorphic means that you have given human characteristics to things that are not human, either animals, inanimate objects like fruit, or something of the like. So these would be considered anthropomorphic pepper shakers. And interesting, these appear to be, that actually looks more almost like a tomato to me, where this one looks like an apple. I don't know, y'all tell me what you think. Tomatoes or apples, or one of each. But they have faces, so the fact that they have faces makes them anthropomorphic. And that is a very popular style for collectors right now. So things that have that anthropomorphic face on them ought to do well. These are not marked, so I don't know who made them. I would kind of expect maybe Japan, I'm not sure. And then the last set of salt and pepper shakers are these anthropomorphic pickles. Aren't they cute? Look at those smiles. They've got some really happy smiles, and they're marked salt and pepper. And again, they are not marked on the bottom, but I just thought they were kind of adorable, and I don't even really like pickles, but I have some family members that do. But both the salt and pepper and the apple tomato, don't know which, those will be for sale, and they were $3 each also. I picked those up because no one else had bid on them. There were a few other salt and pepper shakers that I bid on that other people were bidding on, and they went up a little bit higher. I just didn't, I'm not going to collect salt and pepper shakers in addition to all my other collections, so I try not to pay very much for salt and peppers, just because I want to be able to flip them and make a little bit of profit on them when I do. So the last estate sale was one that y'all may have seen the shop along video. That was the one where I went and I actually did not buy anything in the shop along video because it was the first day of the sale. It was on a Friday. My husband and kids were with me, not my oldest son, but the other kids. And the prices were just a little bit high for what I felt comfortable paying, especially for resale. Very nice things. The woman who lived there was an artist who had done toll work. She had beautiful items in her home that she had painted, but like I said, I just couldn't justify paying the prices. So on Sunday, when my teenager was with me, we stopped back by just on a whim because it was kind of on our way out, and I did pick up a few items at half off because they were still there on the half off day, and I was really excited about that. So the first thing that I picked up was this little cream and sugar. Now I don't even think this matches exactly, but the cool thing is these items are uranium glass and they do glow. So now in the shop along video, if you remember, I did look at these and they were priced, trying to remember what was with it. I think it was a compote or a covered dish or something else was with this set originally, and it was priced at $60 for the entire set. And that was way out of my budget. The other items in the set were these two little small candlestick holders, also uranium glass, also glows under the black light, and that has a little black something little scratch, but anyway, so these two candlesticks, these creamer, and this almost looks like a little custard dish. I don't know. This little dish, and then whatever else was with it were all priced $60 the first day. So when I went back on Sunday, the other item that was with this set was not there, which wasn't a big loss to me. That really wasn't what I liked. I liked these 4 pieces, and there was no price on them. So I asked the man running the sale what he would take for these, and I got all 4 pieces for $5. So to me, that was a really good price, about $1.20 a piece. So that was fun. And they glow, which is always fun. And I saved the best for last, because this is the piece I really went back hoping it was still there. And it is this gorgeous handbag. Isn't that cool? I know some of you are going, she's lost her marbles. Well, I could carry my marbles in my handbag. No, just kidding. I do collect vintage handbags. My collection mainly focuses on Enid Collins of Texas. And since then, I have actually picked up a few more Texas handbags, including this one, because it is, you can see the tag right there. It is made by, and I hope I say this right, Velladore of Houston. And this bag, I did do a little bit of research on it. It seems like this company, because it started out as Velladore and later became Caron of Houston, and it's spelled C-A-R-O-N. And I actually have a Caron of Houston bag as well that is all black. It's not quite this ornate. But the woman who started it, her name, I believe, was like Velma or something. So the Vel part of Velladore is the first part of her name. And then she changed the company's name to Caron of Houston, and that's named after her daughter. And so this is one of those handbags, probably 50s or 60s. That's when the company was active. It looks like it was not used very much at all, maybe never carried, because I also got it in this cool original Sanger Harris box, which was exciting for me because, oh, I've got it upside down. Here you go. Sanger Harris, can y'all see that? All right, so Sanger Harris was a department store that was it started in the Dallas area. Well, in Dallas was the first flagship store for Sanger Harris. It was a merging of the companies of Sanger and Harris. It was not super high-end, but it was a nice department store, somewhere on the level of what today we would think of as Dillard's or Macy's or something like that. And it was truly a Texas company. They had stores all over Texas up until, I want to say, 1987, and that is when they sold their stores to Foley's. Yes, Foley's. And Sanger Harris, when I was a child, that was the place my mom took me when we needed to look for something nice. So like if I was in middle school and I needed a dress for a banquet, we would go to Sanger Harris. So I had a lot of Sunday dresses that came from Sanger Harris when I was a teen. A lot of my purses came from Sanger Harris in the 80s when I was a teenager. And so to me, Sanger Harris it holds a lot of memories. And one of the things about Sanger's, and there's only, I don't even know how many, but not very many still in existence, but the stores had these big arches. And when you would go into the store, these arches were over the porch at the entrance of the store, and they had these beautiful mosaics that were tile mosaics that when you entered the store, it was very iconic. They were gorgeous. They they just screamed Sanger Harris to me, and so I still remember that. But anyway, that was kind of fun. But yeah, this box is from Sanger Harris. It does have a piece of tape with what looks like wrapping paper on it, so it makes me wonder if this was a gift and the owner just, it wasn't her style, so she didn't carry it. You know how sometimes you get a gift and you don't, oh, thank you very much, I love it, and then you put it in the closet. I don't know. But I love it, and this one is going in my purse collection. And it's a rather large size, which when I saw it in the pictures of the sale, I didn't realize it was this big. So that was kind of a nice surprise as well. And if y'all saw the tag hanging around there, it was priced at $40, which I told y'all in the shop along video I was not comfortable paying that much for it. So I waited till the half price sale day and I got it for $20. And if you can see on the back, it is velvet, black velvet. And again, talking about my own polar bears, this one is staying in the box because it will be covered with white polar bear Great Pyrenees fur if I do not. So yeah, that was fun that it is still in the box. And the box is in fairly good condition considering this is probably from the 60s at least because of this. Yeah. So anyway, oh, I forgot one thing. My most expensive item from that estate sale. Remember I told you there was one item I paid more for than anything else. Everything else was $3 to $4. But there was one item I paid $8.50 for. And it was the snow. Is that not crazy? Yeah, I don't know why I paid $8.50 for the snow, but I really wanted it because I love this graphic. And you know, it wasn't the snow that I wanted necessarily as much as it was the box. And I just thought the box was really cool. But you can see that this box has some vintage snow in it. It isn't a Ziploc bag, so I'm not really sure that this is the original bag. You know, I would say probably not. But I just love this box, and I wanted the Christmas graphic to do a little bit of Christmas decorating with. This will go in my Christmas decorations. And so I paid $8.50. You can call me crazy. This one's staying with me though. I'm not going to try to flip it to make a profit on that because I think I was crazy for paying $8.50 for it. But yeah. So that ends my estate sale adventures. I'm caught up on those for a while, and I would love to know what you think. What item did I find that was your favorite? What item do you think you're kind of silly for buying that? I would have passed on it. Anyway, just let me know. So be sure to comment those thoughts down below. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked it. If you didn't even, hit the thumbs down button. I want to know what your thoughts are. If you have any more information on any of the items that I showed today, I'd love to hear that as well because I'm always learning. And be sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so that you won't miss a single episode of TammyToosVintage. This is Tamara, and I'll see y'all next time.